Okay, so it's up on recording. So we'll start off. We've already waited for other students to join. Okay. So good afternoon, and I hope your classes have started since yesterday. This is the first class for ESLA, that is the short form, which the full form is Engineering Statistics and Linear Algebra. So today's class will give you an introduction for the course. We'll also discuss what are known as the course objectives and course outcomes, just so that we can understand what we want to do through this course, and at the end of the course, what is it that we will acquire, so that it will be helpful for us in the coming semesters and even further. And finally, I also want to discuss few applications of this particular course. This course is very, very important in terms of communication engineering, because it deals with things which are very, very random in nature. Okay. Random is a very layman term. In engineering, we call it as stochastic. Okay, so I'll be introducing you to a few new words, I believe, and let's see how this course looks like first. Okay. Okay, so I'm putting up a PPT right now. This is the first and last PPT in this course. I don't believe in PPTs at all. So whatever we'll do in the course after this PPT will be only handwritten. Once we come in offline for offline classes, it will be on the blackboard and pen and paper. Till then, we'll be doing everything online on a digital tab and pen, which I will be using. And I would suggest that all of you sit with a pen, pencil, and a sheet of paper so that you can practice, because this entire course is completely mathematical. There is no theory involved. No questions will be asked which are theoretical in nature. It is just going to be purely mathematical. It is not pure mathematics, it's an application based mathematics. So it is very important for us to understand what are the applications of this particular subject. Okay. So the name of the subject is Engineering Statistics and Linear Algebra, in short ESLA. My name is Sridhar. I am the R&D coordinator in the institute. In the department of ECE, I work as an associate professor. You can email me at sridhar@sdbit.edu.in or research@sdbit.edu.in. I sit in the R&D cell, which is on the first floor in the ECE department. You can meet me anytime you want. Okay. So about the, just one of you can confirm if I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you are able to view the slide as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the course code is 18EC44. So it's an 18 series course, and EC stands for Electronics and Communication, and 44 would be the fourth semester, fourth in the series. So when the exams are conducted, this will be the fourth subject that will occur. So you'll have 3 more subjects before this particular subject. The CIE marks, that is the internal marks, will be 40. So you'll have 30 plus 10, that is 30 marks will be your internal, and the other 10 marks will be assignment. In my courses, assignments are not freebies. That means you will not get 10 marks for free. You'll get the complete 10 marks only if you put in an effort. I also know how to get the students to put in an effort, so we'll discuss that. Okay. Assignments are a major part in the course that I take, because they really help you with the exams. Okay. And also in learning, for future as well. So the number of lecture hours we'll have per week is 3. So as of now, this week we are having online classes. Still we have 3 lectures which are planned. So I'm looking at the timetable. So we have one today on Tuesday. We have one tomorrow in the morning at 9:15, and one we have on Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Right? The semester end examination will be 60 marks. So you'll have 60 plus 40 internal, that will be 100. Total number of lecture hours specified is 40, 8 hours per module, but since it is completely mathematical, at few points we are going to exceed those hours, and we'll have to make up those hours by we are taking extra lectures, so on and so forth. Because it is completely mathematical. Sometimes solving a numerical may take an entire half an hour or so. So we don't know. And all the concepts introduced in this subject are very new, to the extent that you may not have heard of certain terms. So it's a completely new subject. It's an application-based subject, very important for further semesters, subjects like digital communication or optical communication or wireless communication. That is something which I will explain you towards the end of this lecture. Okay. So let's quickly look at the syllabus. Right now we are not in the position to completely understand the syllabus, but I'll just give you an overview. The number of credits that you will get out of this subject is 3. That's why you have 3 lecture hours per week. So before we go into the syllabus, so what are the course objectives or course learning objectives? I believe most of these terms which you will see in the course objectives will be new to you. Maybe you would have heard some of them before in mathematics, but since I've conducted this subject multiple times, I know that for majority of the students, these terms will be new. Okay. So firstly, we wish to understand and analyze what are known as random variables. We may have heard this word, but we want to see mathematically what is a random variable, what are random variables. Before that, we also need to understand why we need these random variables. Okay, so we need to understand this mathematically. We not only want to deal with a single random variables, but we want to deal with multiple random variables. So there's a lot of insight about random variables which is required. And a group of random variables working together over a period of time is known as a random process, and we wish to analyze those random processes as well, right? So you will see in the syllabus, which will come in the next multiple slides, that the first 2 modules will deal with various aspects of random variables. That is, the first module will introduce you to random variables. It will then deal with single random variable, that is only when only a one random variable is working, and then in module 2 we'll deal with the multiple random variables, and finally in module 3 we will jump towards what is known as the random process. Okay, so don't worry, right now you're not aware of these terms, it's okay. Just want to introduce these terms to you, right? Then we'll move to module 4 and module 5. In module 4 we are going to deal with linear algebra, an algebra which is linear in nature. So I'm sure you all are aware of what is linearity. Y equal to mx plus c is a linear curve, because as x will increase, y will also increase. So on a graph of x and y axis, you will just have a straight line which will look diagonal in nature starting from the origin, right? We'll be dealing with linear algebra. So whatever input we give, let's say x is the input, we'll get some x plus m as the output because it is linear in nature, right? So for linearity, we'll be dealing with what is known as vector spaces. Okay, so here the concept of vector comes into the picture. Please be aware that most of electronics and communication, especially communication engineering, deals only with vectors. It does not deal with scalars at all, because scalar just gives us the number, whereas in communication, when we are communicating using a transmitter and a receiver, we are always interested in the direction, right? It could either be a forward direction or a backward direction. If you are using satellite for communication, it's a top to bottom kind of communication. Therefore, the direction is very, very important. Hence, vectors are a very important part in communication engineering, right? So we'll deal with the concept of vector spaces. Again, I'm not sure if you're aware of spaces. Maybe in set theory you would have heard of this term spaces, but we want to see what this vector space is. We'll deal with a very important phenomena known as orthogonality. Much of communication engineering is based on orthogonality. Just to give you an example, the phones which are CDMA phones, code division multiple access phones, are based on this orthogonality concept. Orthogonal basically means that 2 entities are perpendicular to each other, right? So if I want to project my hand, that would be orthogonal, right? So you can see that the thumb is pointing towards the top, and the index finger is basically on one of the sides, and the angle between them is 90 degrees. right? So orthogonality concept is very important. The application of orthogonality is that if two entities are orthogonal in nature, they will not interfere with each other, right? So I'll be explaining that as we move on in the code. And so we want to see these aspects as an application to communication that we'll be doing in module 4. And then in module 5, we'll be dealing entirely with matrices. The reason being, when we are communicating, there are so many signals which are passing. Again, the concept of signal will be introduced to you in signals and systems, and also PCS, which is principles of communication systems, right? So basically, signal is an entity that is going to change with time. So you're always going to write a signal as some x of t. So x is the value, and that is going to change with time. Therefore, you have x bracket t, right? So we want to see how these signals, multiple signals, so many signals, can be put in the form of a matrix, and how we can transform this matrix. For example, you have a matrix, let's say, 2 cross 2. If I can, transpose that matrix, then what happens to that matrix? If it is a 2 cross 1 matrix, if I do a transpose, what happens to that matrix? Right? So these kind of transformations are also going to be very helpful for us because analysis of the signals in the form of matrices becomes much easier when compared to signals as individual signals. Right? Again, right now you may have not completely understood everything that I would have said, but as and when we solve it, you'll have much more clarity. Right? So those are the course objectives that we wish to, have in this particular course. Now let's look at the textbook, and then we'll look at the syllabus as well. So the textbook, the main textbook prescribed by VTU is by Richard Williams, and this is available in the SGBIT library. However, should I say, the issue that you will find with this book is it gives you all the parts, it explains you everything, it does not solve the numericals, right? And in a course like this, you always want to have as many solved numericals as possible. Therefore, many of you would contact your seniors, and one advice which you will get from your seniors is some XYZ local author book, an Indian author book. Of course, you can always use those books. Just ensure that the solutions provided in those books are correct. I do not encourage local author books because there will be many mistakes which they would have made, but it would be very easy for you to understand. Therefore, if you get any such advice from your seniors or anyone else, at least get the book to me and check it out that there are no mistakes in the book. If you attend all my classes and if you solve all the numericals which I do in the class, I guarantee you that you will more than pass. You will just not pass, you will more than pass. Okay. So it's all about attending the class and practicing all the numericals. If you try to solve the numericals 1 day or 2 days before the exam, I don't know how that is going to work. Okay, so this is a continuous process. So every day in the lecture, I would suggest that you sit with the pen and paper and solve. You should be good with integration, differentials, derivatives, and matrices. I will also give you time to just recollect few of the concepts which you have done probably in school and first year of engineering. So you should be good with those things. Okay. So textbook number 1 basically deals with module 1, 2, and 3. Textbook number 2 is dedicated to module 4 and 5 because it deals with linear algebra. Again, you'll face the same problem in textbook number 2 as well, because it's by Professor Strang, who basically used to teach in MIT. So you'll see lots of information, but the solutions to the problems may not be as much. Therefore, again, you would move to local authors, and again, the same problem would occur. So solving in the class the numericals which I do is will be very helpful to you. Okay. There are also reference books, but there are many available. The one prescribed by VTU is right in front of you on the screen, right? But the more the number of books, it will become more complicated for you. Therefore, it's better you start depending on the class to get more idea and more numericals which we can solve in the class, right? Okay. Question paper pattern, I think you are already used to it from semester 3, but I'll just mention it to you. So your examination will be for 100 marks. Question paper will have 10 full questions, each will be 20 marks. Full question could have 4 sub questions. There will be 2 full questions from each module covering all the topics. So there's no module which you could leave. you will have to answer 5 full questions and you will have to select one full question from each module. Total marks will be proportionally reduced to 60. As I told you in the previous slide, you'll have 60 plus 40. So 40 will be assignment, 40 will be your 30 will be your CI test, internal test, and the 10 marks will be assignment. Okay. So just a mention about the assignment here. I would want to give assignment for all 5 modules. So you'll have 5 assignments. Of course, by norms, you should have only 3 assignments. So we'll see how things progress. Right now with the pandemic, we are not really sure. But ideally, I would like to have 1 assignment for each module. The deal with the assignment is if we have offline class, okay, I don't give take home assignments. That means I don't post the assignment and expect you to go home and do it, because we all know how those assignments are done. I like to take the assignments in the class on a date which is selected by the students, and I make those assignments open book and open notes. You can also bring in your laptop and visit websites and books. You have everything at your disposal to solve the assignment. Okay. This is one of the ways in which you are able to learn more, and this has been very effective. So I'm really hoping that we'll have the offline classes soon so that we can have the assignments like that. I also have ideas about how to do online assignments, but I don't want to say that now because I'm not sure if we will be continuing online or not. So let's wait. But assignments definitely in the ESLA class will not be free 10 marks. You will get 10 marks provided you put in an effort. Okay. And I will ensure that the copy pasting in the assignment doesn't happen. You make mistakes, that's not a problem, but you learn from those mistakes. So that is the whole idea that I'll be having in ESLA class. So that's for the assignment. Is that clear? Anybody has any questions regarding the assignment? Any questions till now? You can give me a binary yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So let's look at the syllabus. So this is module 1. It deals with random variables, and as I told you in the first slide, it deals with single random variable. So you'll have one random variable. I'll not spell out whatever is written inside module 1 because right now you all may not be aware of those terms. But if you just look at a few of the terms which are mentioned, I think you will be aware of few things like Laplace. You may be aware of obviously exponential. You may be aware of probably Poisson. I believe in the first year of engineering you would have done Fourier transform, if I'm not wrong. So these are some of the aspects which will come in. It's completely mathematical. Okay, I'm not sure if you are aware of random variable distribution and those kind of things, but if you are aware, that's fine. But we'll be going into the details of those in module 1. Module 2 is just an extension of module 1. It deals with multiple random variables. Okay. So we deal with a very important concept here in module 2. It is known as central limit theorem. It's a very, very important concept. In short, it's known as CLT. Okay. And that basically is the base for your communication engineering. So we'll be dealing with that. In all of this, Fourier transform, Fourier series becomes very, very important. You'll also see that it will be used extensively in signals and systems and also in principles of communication engineering. Okay. So you would have learned Fourier transform and Fourier series. For example, if you have e raised to minus at, you know that the Laplace transform is s by s plus a. You would have done that in mathematics, but what exactly does it mean? What is the application? That you will be doing in this particular semester, right? So everything that you have already studied will be put to application in this particular semester. Okay. And then module 3 is extension of module 1 and 2, or an application of module 1 and 2, and it deals with random process. Right? So just to give a starting idea, a group of random variables will make a random process. Very, very important concept. The most important point that we'll be able to learn in random process or module 3 is the concept of noise. Okay. Everything in communication is dependent on noise. As a layman, we do not want noise, but as an engineer, we need to understand that we cannot prevent it. Noise will always be there. We should just have good enough systems and processes to minimize it. Okay. So I'll be dealing with a lot of noise. You'll be dealing with that in principles of communication system as well, and probably a part of it in signals and systems also. Okay. And then we'll be dealing with many important concepts like independence. I think in probability you would have read about independent events, right? When two events have nothing to do with each other. For example, picking out a card and tossing a coin. They are independent events because they are not related to each other, right? So we'll be doing that, and we'll see how that can be, or how that is applicable to random variables and random process, right? And many important other important concepts here. Right? So this will cover your module 1, 2, and 3. All of this is completely mathematical, no theory. Nobody is going to ask you what is a random variable. Nobody is going to ask you what is a random process. If that question is asked, it will definitely be followed with a numerical, right? So please don't expect any theory questions in your exam and in general as well, right? Okay. Then we move to the linear algebra part in the syllabus. The first part is vector spaces, and here these would be some of the concepts where you will be you would be aware of. So here we'll be dealing with rank and row reduced form of matrices. Again, independence, linear transformation. What is a subspace? We'll deal with a very important concept of Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization procedure. We'll see how we can orthogonalize 2 signals or 3 signals and what is the use of that. Okay, this will be very useful for us in digital communication in the 5th semester, right? So understanding that will be very important. So we'll start with what are orthogonal vectors, and then we'll go into the Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization procedure, and then we'll see what is the application of that. Right? And finally, module 5. This is the easier of the modules. It deals with determinants, how to find a determinant and what are the various properties of a determinant, what are permutations and cofactors, then how to diagonalize a matrix, what is a singular matrix, how we can decompose it. So this is compared to the other modules a little easier module. Right? So this will cover the ESLA course. It has 2 parts, random variable and random process, and the other part is linear algebra, including matrix and its transformations. Right? And finally, what is the outcome? What exactly do we hope to achieve at the end? We hope to understand completely what is random variable and what are random processes, so that we are absolutely set for digital communication, optical communication, wireless communication. These are the communication aspects which we are using in day-to-day processes. Some of you may be using the Geo Fiber. Some of I think all of us are using Wi-Fi, wireless, through various service providers. So those understanding how they work, the base for all of that is random variables and random process. Right? We also wish to know what are the models for random variables, random processes that we'll be able to learn. We'll be able to understand the concept of amplitude, phase, and frequency. This will be in sync with your principles of communication system subject, where you will be dealing with amplitude modulation and frequency modulation, AM and FM, which you have been using probably in radio or the system in your car, right? What is this amplitude? What is the phase? What is the frequency? How it is related? How can you relate all of this to a signal? All of that can be analyzed even in this subject. And then we wish to also know what are eigenvalues, how we can use a matrix, how could we put signals in a matrix, and how can we decompose the matrix so that we can get smaller numbers to deal with, so on and so forth. Okay? So these will be the course outcomes. So there's a difference between course objective and course outcome. The objective is set before we start, and the outcome is what we obtain after the course, right? So this is what we aspire to do. Okay. So these are the slides which I wanted to share with you. These are the only slides which I wanted to share with you. There will be no more slide in the course, like I've told you before. Okay. What you will see in the course would look like this. Let me share the screen. Okay, so one of you can just confirm if you are able to see a white page.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you could see the date on the left hand side top, 20th April 2021, and the time 12:02. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is basically a OneNote system. Okay, so OneNote basically helps us in forming different notebooks. So if you are looking at the screen, you will see that there is a Sridhar's notebook. There is also EMW 18EC55, which I had taken last semester. So that is electromagnetic waves. So this is a complete notebook for that subject. Everything that I write on this page gets stored, and I can also share it with the students. So these are the digital notes. Of course, the recording will also be there on Teams, but people who have bandwidth issues are usually not able to download the videos. So that constraint is there. So therefore, this notebook really helps. So if you see what I'm doing on the screen, I'm renaming that new section as, right. So this is our introduction lecture on 20th April 2021, and the time that this particular page was made is 12:02. That is at 12 o'clock, right? And this comes under the ESLA notebook, right? If I want, I can also edit this, the name of the subject, but the name of the subject is ESLA, right? So I'm using a digital tab and a pen, okay, and I will just scribble something here, and you can see that you'll be able to view it, right? Is it? Can you view it? Anyone? You can tell me. So I'm just going to sign.
Yeah.
Are you able to view it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you can see that I have created an eraser here. Okay, if you look at the cursor, it's an eraser, and now I'm going to erase it. Okay, so this works exactly like a blackboard. Very helpful for subjects which are mathematical like ours. So instead of putting in slides and not being able to understand completely, this is one of the best ways of doing it, right? Now in the remaining time, let me explain you what are the applications of this subject, right? So the name of the subject is ESLA. So I'm just going to split it, okay, and we'll leave engineering. So we have statistics, or in short called as stats, and then we also have the other part, which is linear algebra. Okay. So I'm going to leave this linear algebra part for now. So I'm going to put a cross here. Okay. I'm going to concentrate on statistics, or in short, stats. Okay. So this is a very important concept of statistics, and to understand this statistics, let me draw a diagram which I think most of you would have seen. If not, if this is the first time, still it's a very simple block diagram to understand, right? So if I wish to communicate, let's say, let's take this example of communication which we are doing right now. So I am the transmitter. So if I have to represent that in terms of a block diagram, I will be the transmitter, right? All of you 23 or 24 students who are attending this particular session are the receivers, right? And the whole idea is to send data, right? Data from the transmitter to the receiver, right? I want to send this data, right? That is exactly what we do every day. So every day after we wake up, the first thing that we see is WhatsApp, and we see what messages have come in. So that is the data. and then we start replying to those messages or sending all the messages back. So we become the transmitters and the others would become the receivers, right? So the whole idea in communication is to send data, right? Now, if I want to send this data from the transmitter to the receiver, what is required? What should I fill in this gap? So there is a gap here. See, I'll put a double arrow. This is a gap, right? There is a gap between the transmitter and the receiver. What should I fill this gap with so that I can transmit or send this data from transmitter to receiver? Any answer? Anybody? How can I fill this gap? You can just give me any answer. Anybody? Just think. Right now, I am transmitting and you are receiving, but how is this happening? What is filling this gap between you and me? What is filling this gap? Anyone? These are very basics. You don't need to be an engineer to answer. Anyone? Take a guess. Okay. Let's see. If I want to get answers out of you, I should give you some hint. So what is this Microsoft Teams doing for us? Why is Microsoft Teams required?
Through internet.
To get to the internet. Very good. Why do I need internet? You're right. You've answered right. You're on the right track. Why do I need internet?
Medium, it will carry the
Sorry?
data. Internet
Say
medium
that again.
will carry the data.
To carry the
Data.
To carry the data. Okay. He's almost right. So see, I want to send my data from transmitter to the receiver, but I can't do it as such because I don't have anything which can carry this data, right? I'm explaining this to you as a layman, right? There has to be somebody who carries this data from transmitter to the receiver, right? So this person or this block which carries the data from the transmitter to the receiver is known as the channel. In some books, it is also known as the medium, right? So now if I erase this line, so from the transmitter, I need to send the data to the channel or the medium, and this medium and channel will send this data to the receiver, right? So let's see what is the use of this channel. Okay, so if I take this example right now I'm speaking to you in English, okay, and whatever I am writing on this OneNote page is also in English. So all of you know English, you are able to read, write and converse in English. Therefore, there is no problem for both of us, transmitter and receiver, to understand the data, right? Now, let's say, for example, I start talking in some language, let's say a Russian language. I also start writing in a Russian language. What will happen to your side? You will obviously not be able to understand that data, right? Therefore, the job of this channel or this medium, its job is to ensure that data has a form useful for receiver, right? So please understand, this is the most basic of communication. Transmission is very simple. All you have to do is pick up the device and transmit. Not a problem. Problem is always the receiver. Has your data been received by the receiver? has it been received in the correct format? Those things are very, very important, right? Therefore, this medium is going to be very, very important for us. Okay, so this is one of the most important concept of communication engineering, and it also will mean a lot to us in ESLA, because this data having a particular form, will be in the form of matrix or matrices, right? Because we are going to deal with numbers. Okay, so this is one of the first concept I wanted to tell you. Okay, now you have seen that block diagram. Do you see anything missing in this block diagram? Do you see anything missing in this block diagram?
Modulator.
Sorry?
Modulator.
Modulator. Okay, you've gone one step ahead. Okay, that will come here.
Amplifier.
I don't want to introduce modulator to everybody, but you're right, modulator is here. Okay, let me give you a hint to what I'm trying to ask you. Let's say you're on the phone talking to a friend of yours, okay, and let's say you're on the terrace of your building, okay, and then there is an airplane that flies past you, right? What happens at that time? You either, if you're holding the phone on this ear, you close this ear, right? Or you will wait for that airplane to fly, and it's after that that you will start to chat with your friend again. So what has that airplane done to you when you were talking to your friend?
Noise.
Noise. Okay.
Noise.
Yeah, that's right. So basically what is missing here is noise. Now please understand, this is again a very important concept, because students in electronics and communication engineering everywhere have this very bad image of noise, because it is noise. So they say noise, we don't want it. Please understand, now this airplane is flying, okay? People inside the airplane, to them, is that airplane's noise a noise? They are sitting in an airplane, and the airplane is going to make this sound because the motor is running and the wings are functioning. To them, it cannot be noise. They want it to function, because if it doesn't function, the plane is going to crash. Are you getting it? That means to the person's, it's sound, not noise. Whereas for the person who is on the terrace chatting to a friend, are you able to see that? Okay. Whereas to a person who's sitting on, standing on the terrace chatting to a friend, this airplane sound becomes noise, right? So what is basically this noise? This noise is nothing, from the solar system or anything. Noise also is a signal. However, to us, it is unwanted signal. That means when I'm on the terrace chatting to a friend, I don't want that airplane to make sound. That means I don't want it. It is unwanted for me, right? So you have to be very clear with this concept of noise. Noise is nothing new or nothing different. It is just an unwanted signal, right? So if I just make the block diagram of that channel, okay, and just introduce a little mathematics. So I am trying to transmit a signal, and I will denote the signal as x of t. Now what do you mean by this x of t? This x of t just means, if I plot it on a graph, okay, or let me just name this some g of t, okay, because I want to denote x-axis here and I want to denote y-axis, right? So g of t, g is nothing but the value, and t is nothing but the time. So if I make this x-axis as time, the value of g changes at all times. So if I call this t1, I call this T2, I call this T3 and so on, the signal may look something like that, right? So at T1, the value of the signal is this. At T2, the value of signal is that. And at T3, the value of signal is that. So if I call them as Y1, Y2 and Y3, these are the values. If I take, let's say, T10, okay, after a long time, this will be the value of the signal. So this will be Y10, right? So a signal is denoted as its value and its value with time. So to this signal, G of T, which I want to transmit, so you can view here, this is the channel. This G of T is coming from the transmitter. So in ideal conditions, when there is no noise whatsoever, what should I receive at the receiver? Anybody? I am transmitting G of T at the transmitter. There is no noise whatsoever. What should I receive at the receiver? Anyone? Am I audible? Hello, am I audible? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the question I'm asking is, I'm transmitting G of T, which is a signal or data through a channel, right? There is no noise. I'm assuming that it's a vacuum place. There is no noise. What should the receiver receive?
G of
What
T.
should I write? What should I write here?
G of T.
G of T. Good. That means in ideal situation, this is an ideal situation when there is no noise. Whatever I transmit, I should receive that. That means input should be equal to the output. This is what I am hoping. However, we do not live in an ideal condition. Therefore, to this channel, there is always going to be noise because I'm not living in an ideal condition. Let me call this noise some n of t. Why am I calling this n of t? Because noise is also a signal with a value of n at different times. So it will have n1, n2, n3 and so on at times t1, t2, t3 and so on. Right? Now, assuming that this channel is an additive channel, that means this channel just adds every input that it comes to it and gives an output. The output of this channel will become G of T plus N of T. Right? Is this the output that you want? Obviously no. Why? Because you have transmitted G of T, but what the receiver is receiving is G of T plus N of T. That means the receiver is not getting the actual data which you had transmitted. Are you able to understand? Right? Now this is not a good communication. If I just say hello as a transmitter, but what you hear is hello, how are you? Is that the correct data? Obviously not. Something extra has come to you as a receiver. Therefore, this channel should be such that it should be able to minimize the noise. It should be able to minimize the noise. Okay, please understand there is a difference. You cannot eliminate noise. We cannot eliminate noise. You can only minimize the noise. Okay. So that is very important concept. Again, the other concept is this noise is random in nature. Why? Because right now the noise could be very high. Someone next to me will be shouting at a very loud pitch. That is noise, very high volume. After 5 minutes, there may be no noise. There is nobody who is shouting. After 5 minutes again, someone comes and starts shouting. So this noise is very random in nature. right? Therefore, this output g of t plus n of t becomes random in nature, right? I know what is g of t. How do I know what is g of t? Because g of t is what I have transmitted. So I know what I have transmitted. But I do not know what is the noise which is being added, because that is random in nature. Therefore, output also becomes random in nature, right? So I should have some mathematical models, some mathematical analysis which should help me in understanding randomness, right? And that analysis happens nothing but with random variables, in short RVs, and random processes, in short RPs, right? So this is the major use of random variables and random processes in communication engineering. Because noise becomes random in nature, therefore the output becomes random in nature. Therefore, we need to have some analysis which we can do mathematically, so that we can understand this noise and the output, so that we can minimize the noise. Okay. So in that, first we start dealing with random random variables, RVs. So we need to understand what is an RV. So we'll first start with what is this RV, right? Use of this RV, a random variable, right? Relation of this RV with random process. Okay, this is exactly what we want to do. Okay, so henceforth in the lectures, that is tomorrow and the other lectures, we'll start with random variables, and we'll see what these random variables are, mathematically how they are represented, what are the various models. Okay, but the application is in terms of communication. Okay, so henceforth I will be using this note. Once I close this note, it saves automatically and it will be there to be shared with all of you. Okay, the lecture is also recorded, so that is also being shared. Okay, I suggest that all of you attend the classes, be it online or offline, otherwise it will become difficult for you to understand. The Vice Chancellor has made it very, very clear from VTU that the exams will only be offline, including the internal exams. Okay, there is absolutely no chance of promotion. So there will be exams, including which will be offline, including the internal tests. Okay, so please gear up for that. Okay, attend the classes. The time till which we are doing online, I suggest that you sit with a pencil, pen and a paper, so that you can understand the mathematics. Just by listening to the mathematics, you'll not be able to understand. Okay, so I think I've given you a good introduction of this subject and its application. Applications are very, very important. Without applications, understanding a course is of no use. Okay, and I hope you are able to understand whatever I say. Okay, you are able to understand my accent also. You can meet me, text me, call me at any time for any doubt that you have. Okay, so don't hesitate on that. Any issues also, if you have related to the subject or any other thing also, you can talk to me. Okay. Any questions from your side? Any questions from your side? So one thing that this course will do from my side will be to ask a lot of questions from your side. Okay, right now you are not asking questions, but okay, see, that was noise. It is random in nature, right? So it affected our communication. Okay, so please relate all the things that you learn in the subjects to practical applications. These things are very, very important because you are using internet and phones on an everyday basis, and this is what is required for you to crack an interview. Just basic questions. How does an internet work? What is all this data speed? Because you are using it every day. Okay, so as an engineer, you should be aware of it. Okay, you can also come in and talk to me on various other aspects. I'm mostly involved in doing a lot of research. Currently, my research deals with 5G wireless and also moving into 6G wireless. I have also worked on optical communications, and I deal with a lot of mathematical subjects. Okay, so you can come in and talk to me. There are many other activities also which I do in terms of research, like small projects for UG students. You can also meet me in regard to higher studies. I pursued my masters in the United States, so I can help you out with that. With any exams, if you want to give, like GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, or any other government exams, you can also meet me on those lines. So there are various things which I could be of help to you. So come in and interact with me. Okay. So it's already time. This lecture will be stored on the Teams group. You can always access it, and the notes will be with me. If you wish, I can give you the notes. Okay. So we have a class tomorrow at 9:15. So I'll see you at that time. The link to joining the class will be the same link will be there, but I'll be sharing it on WhatsApp. So just click on it and come into the class. Tomorrow's class, sit with a pen, pencil, and paper because I'll start with random variables. Okay. Okay. So that's all. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Thanks.